Hello student, today we will learn chapter number 1 basic concepts in geometry from standard 9th. In this video we will learn conditional statement, converse of conditional statement, introduction to theorem and direct and indirect theorem. Let's see first conditional statement. Suppose the statement is given in if and then format. Then such a given statement is called conditional statement. The part following if means after the word if is called, that part is called antecedent, while the part following then means after the word then, this part is called consequent. Let's see first example. Here first statement is given. The opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. Here you know this rectangle is one type of quadrilateral. So first convert this statement into conditional statement. So here I use this if word and I use this rectangle. So this rectangle is nothing but a quadrilateral. Therefore, our conditional statement is if the quadrilateral is a rectangle, then the opposite sides of that quadrilateral are congruent. Let's see its converse. Converse means only the exchange of antecedent and consequent part. So here we will exchange these two terms. So we will get here converse statement. If the quadrilateral is a rectangle, then opposite sides of that quadrilateral are congruent. It is not necessary that if conditional statement is true, then its converse has to be true. It means opposite sides of parallelogram is also congruent. So this converse is not true for this statement. Means it is not necessary to true. Let's see next statement. The diagonals of a square are congruent. To prove this statement, here I draw one square. All of you know the property related to square. All sides of square are congruent as well as its angles are also congruent because each having measure 90 degree. Now we will see its property related to diagonal. You know its diagonals are same in measure, therefore both diagonals are congruent. Again, this square is a one type of quadrilateral. So again by using this word quadrilateral, here I make a sentence, conditional statement. If the quadrilateral is a square, then diagonals of that quadrilateral are congruent. We will convert this into conditional statement just by exchanging two statements, antecedent and consequence. So this is the exchange. After exchanging, we will get here converse statement. If the diagonals of the quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a square. Now you know that diagonals of rectangles are also congruent. Therefore you can say that this converse statement is not true. Let's see next statement. The corresponding angles formed by parallel lines and their transversals are congruent. Now you know here A and B are two parallel lines and C is their transversal. angle P and angle Q are two corresponding angles. So these corresponding angles are congruent only if line A and line B are parallel with each other. So let's create its conditional statement. If the two lines are parallel, then the corresponding angles formed by that two lines and their transversal are congruent. Again we will convert this conditional statement into converse. Therefore it converses if the corresponding angles formed by two lines and their transversal are congruent, then that given lines are parallel. Let's see statement number 4. The opposite sides of rectangle are congruent. Now you know opposite side of parallelogram are also congruent. Here we are using rectangle. Rectangle is a type of quadrilateral. So let's create its conditional statement. If the quadrilateral is a rectangle, then the opposite sides of that quadrilateral are congruent. Here we first use quadrilateral and then we use our target that the opposite sides of that quadrilateral are congruent. Again by exchanging consequent and antecedent part, we will get here its converse. If the opposite sides of quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a rectangle. It is not necessary that it is a rectangle, it may be a parallelogram also. Therefore this converse statement is not true. Let's move to our theorem. First point is introduction. Sometime the statement is given directly. So our first part is convert this given statement into conditional statement. This conditional statement is write in if and then format. So the part beyond F means in between F and then, this part is called given, and the part which is at after then is called antecedent, is called to prove. Means in our first sentence we call this given point as antecedent and to prove as consequent. Let's see first direct theorem. There are two types of theorem, direct and indirect. Let's first see direct theorem. The opposite angles formed by any two intersecting lines are congruent. Here we required two intersecting lines which makes four angles. Out of these, opposite angles are congruent. To prove this statement, we required one diagram. So this is the diagram. In this diagram you can see line P and line Q intersect each other at point O. So this is our given point. To prove its opposite angles, here these two intersecting lines create four angles. Out of that, suppose here I am taking first angle ROP and angle QOS. These are two opposite pair. We will prove this pair as congruent angle. Similarly, the remaining two pairs are also congruent. Let's prove it. Proof. Here I use first angle, major angle ROP and major angle ROQ, and here I take addition. So if you add these two angles, you will get its addition 180 degree because both angles are linear angles. Now I am taking angle ROQ and second angle QOS. Again, these both angles are linear angles. So its addition is again 180 degree. In equation 1 and 2, you can see its right hand sides are same. Therefore, their left hand sides has to be same. So by using equation 1 and 2, I write down this statement. In this statement, you can see major angle ROQ is common. So after rejecting this term, you will get this statement. Similarly, major angle ROQ congruent with major angle POS. We can prove this by using again major angle ROP plus major angle ROQ 180 degree. Now I use ROP plus POS again 180 degree. In this both statement, this angle ROP is a common angle, so you can reject it. So the remaining angles are these angles. So we can prove these two statement. Now let's move to next indirect theorem. Prime numbers greater than 2 are called odd numbers. Here prime numbers means the numbers which are divisible by 1 and by itself only. You know even numbers and odd numbers. Even numbers means those numbers which are divisible by 2. And odd numbers are those numbers which are not divisible by 2. Here I convert this statement into conditional statement. The numbers are prime numbers, therefore I use here letter P. So if P is a prime number greater than 2, then P is odd number. So this is the conditional statement. The statement between if and then is our given, and the statement after then is our proof. So let's write down its given point. P is a prime number greater than 2, and see this after then P is odd number. Let's prove it. We will prove this theorem by indirect theorem. Here I use, suppose P is not odd number. It means if it is not odd, then P must be even number. But if P is even number, then P will be divisible by 2. This is our equation number 1. But it is given that P is a prime number greater than 2, and prime numbers are divisible by 1 and itself only. So in equation 1, this point number P is divisible by 2, and in equation 2 this number P is divisible by itself and 1 only. So these 1 and 2 statements are contradictory to each other. Therefore our assumption that P is even number is wrong. Therefore you can say the prime number P greater than 2 is a odd number. So that's it. Thank you for watching. See you again in my next video.